Oh, it was really fun. We had a good time. Yeah. Becky did a really good job decorating. Do I? Yeah. So did you see those pictures? Yeah. It was nice. And the last day.
Oh, I love that possibility. Yeah. Well, that's like even if I get scratch off.
But he was they do that. Yeah.
And bringing out our next team in large varsity division.
Yeah, no, this ended up just being a picture. The trees part of it.
Two from Harrison.
I support you.
Oh my gosh, it is so nice.
Really nice. They came out really nice.
That's why if you do the three options, no. Which is good, which is, I have a good answer. Even worse about that picture, okay? Buddy?
What's that picture? I don't know. That picture, what's wrong with it?
It's very well drawn.
No, I made it.
Look at him though, he looks like $1 million. He's ready to run. Only 3 days out.
Huh? I know, that's what Tony told me.
We're trying to have a race in the parking lot. I think I got him in the summer. 3 weeks.
Right next door. Oh, okay. All right. Are we ready? Good evening. I'd like to call to order the June 7th school board meeting. We'd like to start with the pledge of allegiance to the flag, if you please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. I can't just tell you how nice it is to have a crowd. We've usually been here with one person or none, and it's so good to see people. So thank you for coming tonight.
At this time, I'd like to open with special reports. Mr. Dallas Leonard about the
Where's my agenda?
intermediate unit.
Good evening, everybody. May 25th, we held our monthly IU meeting. And also, we held, before the meeting, we held a quarterly meeting prior to the regular meeting. And it's one of 4 quarterly meetings held, quarterly means 4. It was held at 5:45, and reports were given by each committee as follows. Technology infrastructure gave a general overview of their status, a number of infrastructure and safety changes to be made in response to a recent safety review by the Pennsylvania State Police. The Financial Services Committee discussed the fund balances and general financial status. Financial picture looks pretty good and stable. The Curriculum Services Committee spoke on online usage is up very much due to the pandemic response, as would be anticipated, and they are now looking to post-pandemic adjustments and get back to normal as much as possible. Executive Services Committee was a brief overview of all operational and all seems to be satisfactory. Student Services, that's the committee I'm on, a rather lengthy review and discussion on all services relative to early intervention throughout all grade levels, just very much basic information. And we had an executive session which started at 6:40 prior to the regular meeting, at which various personnel items were discussed, including renewing of our solicitor services, the executive director's performance appraisal, which is underway, and several potential positions to be filled, and one other legal matter. And then the executive session concluded at 7:05. We were right into the regular monthly meeting at about 7:06, at which we discussed personnel and legal matters reviewed at the executive session were discussed and voted on as deemed appropriate. Various financial reports were reviewed and approved. All committee reports were presented to the committee and all were approved. The executive director's report was very brief. I basically stated the IU is progressing well with heading back to normal pre-pandemic operations. And a review and discussion was held regarding the pricing and cost of all services offered by the IU, and that's a review underway. Meeting was adjourned at 7:45, and that concludes my report.
Thank you very much, Mr. Leonard. At this time, Mr. Petrucci can tell us about the Career Training Center.
Thank you, Mr. President. We met on Thursday, this past Thursday, June 3rd. We got an update on a building project for the final stage of new secure vestibule for the main office. Business office area remodeling, no outbuilding for construction praise, preparing to begin this one, I'm heavily involved in this, to begin a remodeling for the service occupations for special needs students. Adult education, CDL started on May 17th, sorry. We have 7 students, and I'm the one that kept on pushing for hazmat and also for multiple trailers, and she's gonna recommend and see if they can do that. And our masonry teacher, Mr. Walt, he is now got certified from the Nikos chimney. Something he can also use this to teach with, building chimneys. Our budget is $8,848,000, and the proposed enrollment next year, really nice increase, almost 1,200. Our per pupil cost, which I'm pretty proud of here, is $64.48, which is that's only for half a day, of course. And if you double ours, that's probably about right. Mr. Lego, $12.40, that'd be close. That's close.
That's what I thought.
Sounds good.
Okay, and okay, well, I'll skip on that one there. Let me see what else I got back here. I got oh yeah, our grants. Okay, the Perkins grant is which we got all the time as a federal grant, but the state government started a new grant. Maybe Mr. Lego is aware of this, called Governor Emergency Education Relief Fund. Now, are you aware of that at all, Mr. Lego?
I'm not, Mr. Petrucci.
Okay, we got both parts. The first part, Gear 1, is we received $114,443, and then it goes to Perkins, which we've always had Perkins, and that's a federal money. $314,806. Then in Year 2 was the second one. It was $354,771. So we got that grant money, and that's helped keep down some of the cost. Okay, now the Goody report. All right, I'll say the best one for last. Okay, the beef Wellington, sausage wonton, Salisbury steak, then the pasta salad, seafood salad, and dessert was carrot cake, apple cake, and chocolate bread pudding. And the best of all was, we had polenta.
Oh, beautiful.
Did you have plenty of the polenta?
Oh, I had more than one share, that's for sure. That's all I had, Mr. President.
Thank you, sir. Just for our people could know, our board members are involved in these additional boards. That's additional time away from home that they spend going to these meetings and representing Penn Trafford. So again, thank you to both of these gentlemen for the extra time that you put in.
I have two quick comments. I was a large oversight on my part. I forgot my Goody report.
Oh, I was disappointed,
I
because you told me
apologize for that.
you was gonna give me one.
That was an oversight, but we only had sandwiches, so you put me to shame. But down there, you guys have a cafeteria and you make your own goodies, so.
Well, we have culinary.
Yeah,
class.
culinary
Yeah,
classes.
that's-
And the IU, for those who don't know, the Westbourne Intermediate Unit is a coalition of every board of the 17 in the county have to send one member. It's where there's special services for special needs students and that offered up there. So I don't know how many of the services we use some, but they have offered a whole tremendous amount of different services. So it's a lot goes up there. I didn't know if maybe people didn't even know what I said WIU, that's Westbourne Intermediate Unit. Thank you.
So we're well represented there. We're able to have input and bring back, and of course, our students are, that's the beautiful part of seeing our students. Mr. Petrucci, how many of our students are going to the Career Tech?
It seems like almost, PT, how many is our enrollment increased, Dr. Harris?
Is it 90 next year, something over 90?
I know, we actually are spending about 120,000 more, I know that.
And 6,000 students, so divide six, that many more kids yeah, wow.
Yeah,
We are having a lot more.
Wow,
I think we're close to 90, which we're usually around 70, if I remember correctly.
okay, I thought, unless I'm doing the figures wrong, that's over 100. Maybe I'm doing it wrong.
It's
Okay.
close. Well, now remember, they back off some of the, that cost with the subsidy they get, so it's a little bit less than the per pupil cost, so we're between 90 and 100, though.
Okay.
That's great. Thank you. Prior to this meeting, the Board of School Directors convened for an executive session on tonight, June 7th, at 5:30 PM, and we discussed personnel, negotiations, and we also received information from Jim Somerville of the Pennsylvania School Board Association on member services. So that's what we also did tonight. This time, I'm going to turn the meeting back over to Dr. Harris. He has the good parts of the meeting, the gooder parts, right?
Fun stuff. We have a couple of announcements, and then we have some retirements in the audience we want to recognize. But first, I want to, Mr. Vinton gave me some good news to share, and this past year, he actually had a substitute, Josh Buchikowski, one of his students, former students, came back to substitute for most part of the year. I think he actually subbed for 9/10 of the year. But he did an excellent job, and while he was there, the students were nominated for 9 NATAS Mid-Atlantic Student Production Awards, and these are for the video productions that they do. This is for the state of Pennsylvania, Delaware, and New Jersey. 3 of those nominations won their category. My mic's on, as Mr. Benson saying, turn your mic on.
Well, especially for his game.
That's what it says here. I don't blame them. Worked hard, they worked hard, those kids. Thanks, Mr. Benton. So Penn Trafford, they won, they was nominated for 9 awards, and they won 3 of the categories. The winning entries were from the daily newscast, public service announcement, and the commercial. Plus, their daily newscast, Wake Up Warriors, has won the best newscast category 3 out of the last 4 years, and has been nominated 5 years in a row. We had the most nominations of any high school that submitted this past school year. In the first win for the newscast, the Wake Up Warriors crew for the show consisted of Austin Varner, Delkin Mooney, Elisa Flieger, Becca Mills, Sarah Winchell, Alyssa Heimball, Joey Pacelli, Ava Burdell, and Mia DeFazio. The second win was Phelan, I hope I say this name, Phelan Newman and Kenny Williams. They created a PSA, Equity is Beautiful.
And the third win, Christian Miller created a commercial for Seven Springs showcasing what features a resort has to offer. So we want to congratulate all the winners, but it was very impressive that we had 9 different categories nominated. And in the past, we've got to watch those, and it's been, it's great to see all the videos from around the neighboring districts and the states, and the kids do a great job. So I want to thank Josh for stepping up last year and taking over, and of course, Mr. Vinton for always doing a great job as well. Next year, speaking of great jobs, we've added an organic chemistry class. So we actually are growing. How many kids registered for that, Scott?
I think we have one section.
One section. And after listing this textbook up, I can see why. It's actually going to be a challenging class, and it's great to see that we are having one section, but who knows, sometimes when one section starts one year, then the following year you might get 2, the next year you might get more. But this is the book we're going to approve for the class, and the teacher is Mrs. Ramaswamy, and she does an excellent job with all her students. So I really appreciate the fact that she's adding this class because it's extra work and time, but it's worth it. It's what she always wanted. Anything to say on that, Mr. Ingles, or?
Yes, she does a great job with the chemistry program, and we have a number of kids who always seem to go into chemistry, field pharmacy, or some other chemical engineering, and it's one thing we haven't had as an organic course, and that's something that's certainly essential for anybody pursuing a career in engineering and the sciences, particularly obviously chemistry. So I'm glad we're offering it. So it's going to be something that I know a number of our kids are going to enjoy.
All right, thank you. And lastly, if you were in the audience about a week ago, we had graduation, 330 seniors, and it was a beautiful night. I mean, we really lucked out because the next night and the night before, it wasn't so nice, but on that day, it actually said 0% chance of rain. It said I think it was 1% at 8 o'clock, so I'd never had a graduation that all day long had 0% chance, and that was unheard of. So it was a great night. I'm glad the kids had a beautiful night to end the year. 330 students, I think 321 or 322 walked. Not all the kids choose to always walk, but it was great. Each kid got 8 tickets, so we had a large number of families show up, which was great. So, and we had all the kids spread out all across, because with the distance you have to spread the kids up. That's why it took a large amount of the field. So we lucked out, and Scott, your boy graduated. Now you have 3 gone. So
yeah,
we have 1 more left.
One.
I think he
it
finished.
was very nice in terms of the night itself. You guys just did an outstanding job. Weather obviously cooperated, but we're very well run. You guys did a great job.
Absolutely. And Tony, I'd like to thank you for coming and shaking hands with 320-some kids.
It was my pleasure. And I will say, this was the 3rd time I've done it, and this was the best weather.
Oh, yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah, and it's something. For May, you would think it would always be nice, but sometimes you're out there freezing. And I don't know what the reason is. Sometimes it's raining.
One year we had snow.
Had snow. It's all different.
And when you mentioned Dr. Costa's son, he's been blessed, and I think something to be very proud of. This is his 2nd son. Both are went Naval Academy.
Absolutely.
So I thought that
be
was
very proud.
outstanding.
Very thankful.
On about weather, how about our senior parade?
No, that was a little weather challenge.
Just the opposite. The senior parade. But I have to tell you, it was the night before, and when everything was blowing, it was crazy. I kept thinking, please just stop. Please just, or I thought I was going to have to delay it. About a quarter till, it just kind of slowed up. It kind of just stopped. The wind kind of went down. And then we had Chief Otto there. We had the whole entire emergency management team on all the phones and everything. And then they said, no, it's going to be fine. Go ahead. And I'm so glad we did it because the kids were really excited, and it was great. So it was a lot of fun.
How many cars do we have,
I didn't even count. It
Yeah,
felt like forever. Coming with cars with a comment and
Thanking
honking.
Mr. Vinton again, he actually had a drone that, I believe, last year I know he did, but he had a drone fly over St. Barbara's to show the kids setting up. And I might add also, PT, I like being a leader. You're seeing a lot of other schools now having senior parades. Guess who had the first senior parade? You're looking at us. So we're really proud of that. Again, the staff, everybody got involved. Well, this time, Dr. Harris, you have some other gooder news.
We actually do. We have some retirements in the audience tonight. And I'm really glad to have some. I'm going to recognize them, and as Scott has.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Harris. We have a number of retirees here. We do have some that weren't able to attend, but we're going to recognize everybody tonight, at least tell you a little bit about them. We have custodians, we have teachers, we have a nurse, we have administrative assistants, PCAs. So we have a wide range of people retired, and I think COVID put them over the edges that we've had enough.
I don't know.
I know as, our school nurse there, Amy, said, you know what, enough is enough. I can't blame you. Perfect timing.
Now, I only have 2 clocks here, because I think everyone got their clocks already, because we got a set for Claire and Janice. I don't want to, actually, Janice saw hers last week, but I made her put it back. They said, someone is getting a clock on this night, so I made sure I at least had one. So I had at least one, so we have 2 clocks. And they're actually a lot bigger this year. We have a cake, and we're not going to have cakes tonight because of everything, but we have a cake for you to go home. So you could have it tonight, but I always say save a piece, put it in your freezer, and on the first day of school next year, get it out and have a nice laugh and enjoy it. Because you really earned it. And I'm sorry to see everybody go, and it's the craziest year to go out on, but you made it. you did it, and I appreciate it because we really depended on you big time this year. And I hope you had a good last year. It was definitely unpredictable, but you were definitely going to be missed. It'd be hard to replace, definitely, and you're always going to be in the PT family. So anytime you want to come back and visit, you're always welcome. And we always need subs, especially my PCAs and the school nurse, because as you know, we don't have any subs ever.
Dr. Harris, Mr. Vinton wants you to have a mic in your hand right now.
Oh, you know what?
Are you still, you got more to say?
Yes. Oh, thank you. So, all right, but we're actually turn it over to Mr. Ingles. There's some nice things to read.
All right, if you could just stand up when I announce you. First, we're going to do Miss Belovic, Jana Belovic. Please stand up, Jana. If you haven't noticed, she's a celebrity. You know?
She is.
Well,
Level Green.
last time I was in Level Green, I asked for her autograph because if you go to any business sign that's in Level Green, her name is up there. I mean, I saw at least 3. Did I miss a couple? They were everywhere. Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, you have a good support system there. Ms. Belovic, she earned her education degree from the University of Pittsburgh and spent 24 years as an elementary teacher at Penn Trafford. She spent 1 year at Trafford Middle School, which I didn't even know that, and the remaining years at Level Green Elementary. Jana loved teaching first grade and watching the dramatic growth in her students from the beginning to the end of each year. So thank you for your service. You've done a great job. We'll certainly miss you.
And not that I don't love Pitt, but I went to Penn State.
Oh, right. I didn't write this.
You read it, though.
I had a teacher who's now one of our SLAs. She said every time she had you as a teacher, every time someone got an A, you would do a cartwheel. So, how many years were you doing cartwheels? You did them this year?
Wow.
All right. You went out, you went out the way you started, so excellent.
Let's see her do one. I want to see her do one.
And I have to say, you did an outstanding job with everything online, too. You was a model online teacher, and I appreciate that.
Talk about teaching old dogs new tricks. I mean, I'm not saying you're old, but you're a veteran teacher, and she's really embraced the online instruction and did a great job with it. So, people look to her for help, and usually you're looking for these 23-year-old new teachers for the help with the online stuff. But yeah, she was great.
Thank you.
All right, next we have Miss Claire Donnelly. Claire fulfilled her childhood dreams by becoming a teacher and taught in the Penn Trafford School District for 24 years. She holds degrees and certifications from the University of Pittsburgh and St. Vincent. Is that correct?
Okay. She notes how technology has made a profound impact on education and how the curriculum has become more rigorous over the years. Ms. Donnelly's favorite memories include the day she got hired and the heartfelt notes and emails she received from parents and former students to say thank you. Claire, thank you for the many years. I've had the opportunity of working with Claire for, how many years were you at the high school with me? It was 2, yeah. But she did a great job for us at the preschool down there. And then she finished her career at McCullough teaching 2nd grade.
I've enjoyed it all, and my son graduated this year too, so we're both together, and we both, enjoy country.
And Claire, I have to say, no matter what students you ever had, you were the kindest, nicest to all children. You always have a sweet smile on your face. You always, no matter what problem the kid might have, you just are easily able to look past it, and you treat all the kids with respect, and I really appreciate that. They were very lucky to have you.
Next, we have Beverly Formato. Beverly is not here. She spent 27 years as a member of the District Administrative Support Staff. She worked at the administration building, handling the website, Power School, state reporting, among many responsibilities. Bev takes with her some incredible friendships with her coworkers and will enjoy an adventurous retirement of hiking and biking. She worked very closely with Dr. Harris and I at the administration building, and she's certainly missed. She did a great job for us.
I do miss Bev. It's funny when you work with someone so closely all those years and then they're not there. Actually, it was just kind of odd, although just not to see the same people every day, because you just grow used to seeing everybody and then the conversations, and it's weird not having that on a daily basis. So. But I know she'd rather be hiking and biking versus sitting next to me in my office. So, and I don't blame her.
Next, we have Jeannie Grupp.
Jeannie's back there.
Jeannie, she served Penn Trafford as a paraprofessional for 13 years, working at both McCullough and Penn Middle Schools. Aside from the obvious changes due to COVID, Jeannie notes that security, curriculum, technology have all changed dramatically during her tenure. She found her job demanding and challenging, but it gave her immense pride and a sense of fulfillment, particularly when witnessing a student mastering a skill. So certainly appreciate all of you done, and you have a very valuable job, and we're losing a number of PCAs and paras this year, and we're going to miss you guys for sure.
I was definitely saying the same thing when
Well, that's good.
I need you to promise me for that. I actually need you to stay. The 3 of you stay. It'll be actually very nice of all 3 of you, because you will all be missed. And I know we're talking about Jeannie right now, but honestly, what you bring to the table, and you 3 were on this top of the seniority list. You've been here the longest. You sort of started the program because it's sort of what we didn't really have so many PCAs in the district when you started, but then as you know, it grew and grew, and we have a lot of PCAs now, but it's hard to find people willing to come in, and it is so needed, because you actually give the students an opportunity to succeed and to give them the help and support that they can actually stay on target, stay on task, remain in the same grade level. So there is a lot of help that you provide that is so much needed, and it helps the classroom teacher in the building and helps that student. So your role was so important, and you're all going to be missed. Thank you. Absolutely.
Thank you. Next, we have Debbie Heiduk. Debbie's not here. She began working as a substitute custodian for the Penn Trafford School District before she became full-time in 1986. She worked at the high school, the admin building, Harrison Park, Penn Middle, Level Green, and over her 35 years in the district, she has seen many changes over the years, especially with technology, security, and building remodels. Her favorite memories at PT were watching the Steelers play at Warrior Field and watching the Warriors play at Heinz Field. Yeah, the Steelers did a practice session at our stadium one year. I think that's what she's referring to. That was, I remember that was probably about 10 or 15 years ago. Coach Cower and the whole team came and used our facilities from Latrobe Training Camp. But Debbie worked at high school with me for a number of years. She did a great job. Next, we have Brian Highland. He's unable to be with us as well. He left a career in insurance. He left his career in insurance to pursue a lifelong dream of being a teacher. After earning an education degree from Pitt, he joined the Penn Trafford staff in 2007 as a social studies teacher at Penn Middle School. In addition to teaching, Brian was on the girls' basketball coaching staff for many years. Brian was thoughtful and caring teacher who will be missed. He looks forward to spending more time with his grandchildren. Brian was if you didn't know Brian, he was a great guy. Nicest person you could ever meet, and would do anything for you. He was part of that championship, WPL girls championship team a few years back on that coaching staff. So Brian will certainly be missed. Thank him for his service.
I think we actually started the same year, Brian and I.
Yeah, I remember interviewing him. It was a while ago. Shirlane Leonard.
She's back there.
Shirlane joined the Penn Trafford staff in 2005 as a paraprofessional and worked at Sunrise, Level Green, McCullough, and Penn Middle Schools. Over her tenure, she has seen a rising demand for paraprofessionals to support students in need. She has enjoyed watching her students grow and change from elementary to high school and finds great reward in seeing them reach their full potential. Shirlane, thank you. Done a great job.
Thank you for everything. And also the notice, you actually handed your retirement letter in, when did you actually hand your retirement letter in?
Oh, well.
Yes. I looked at it, I thought, oh, she's leaving right now. And then I looked again, I said, oh, wait, she's leaving at the...
All my ducks in a row.
I really do appreciate the notice, especially because it's very hard to replace you. So I really appreciate that, and thanks again for all that you do.
And next we have Amy Markolinsky. Amy always loved working with kids, so becoming a school nurse was a natural career choice. She has worked at Penn, Level Green, Sunrise, both Trafford Middle and Elementary Schools since 1993. She says that cell phones have really changed the role in the nurse's office, and COVID-19 was a particular challenge. Her favorite memories are from serving as camp nurse at Deer Valley. And, I know you're talking about the cell phones. What the kids will do anymore is they don't go to the nurse's office. They call mom and dad and say, Mom, I don't feel well. Come pick me up. And the nurse doesn't know anything about it. And all of a sudden, there's a parent that shows up. And they're supposed to go to the school nurse. That's the process. But sometimes it doesn't work out that way. But Amy did a great job for us. You worked in every building almost, except for the high school, I think. Everywhere. But, yeah, again, with the COVID stuff, you did a great job, and it was
I can't thank you enough with how many phone calls you made this year, how many hours that you stayed up past your workday, weekends. It seemed like we always had cases on the weekends. So Friday nights, Saturday nights, Sunday nights, the holidays, and it was, yeah, it always does, and it did.
It's usually Sunday night about 9 o'clock.
Exactly.
How many phone calls do you think you had to make this year?
I probably made over 200.
Over 200 phone calls?
I'd like to mention that I had the pleasure of serving on a school board with her dad, Al Baird, for 24 years. And I think your mother's from Jeanette, am I correct about that? We went on, I forget what it was. Her name is Emma? Okay. What's her last name?
Who?
Your maiden name. Your
Baird.
No.
Oh.
Your mother's maiden name.
It was Jetto. Also, but she was adopted.
Did she own the distributorship in Jeanette?
She did. Her brother did. And then there's a number of them.
Yeah.
And you aren't going to believe this one, but I delivered your grandmother's paper, Mrs. Baird, on Duquesne Avenue in Trafford. And she had, I think, 5 boys, and they all were in the service, and her pictures were up on top of the mantle. And she never called me Nick. She called me.
Made it back, too.
Yeah, that's true. She called me Knack. My name was Knack. It wasn't Nick. She had that one peach tree in her front yard, and I couldn't wait till August to come. Those suckers were like that, and she didn't do anything, but she was a very nice lady, and working with your dad, very honest guy. Everything was just enjoyable. Go ahead, enjoy your retirement.
With Nick, this is your life. He really does. Very impressive. Very good. Amy, thanks once again for everything. Appreciate it.
We have our district historian over there.
I can.
I had to say something. Al Baird was just a, You remember him, don't you,
I
Brett?
do, absolutely.
Just
He
a
was-
special guy.
He
That
was
was a great
special,
guy.
he was.
was a
I
good-
was
He
fortunate to
lived
know
by
him,
me.
yes.
In Level Green. He didn't live far from me in Level Green.
Oh,
That
is
was a
right?
veteran, and I remember he told me he was served in Iwo Jima.
Yep,
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
Really?
he was,
yes, he was.
he was there.
I'll tell you just another quick story. We had a teacher strike, okay? And I became president, and the vote was, originally it was 5-4, and Mr. Leganos, and it was, I'm sorry, it was 5-3, and Mr. Leganos, one board member pulled out on me. And now I'm down to, 4 each. And I says that, and Al couldn't make the meeting, so I managed to call him up, and I said, Al, I says, I need a 5th vote. I says, and can you help me out? He goes, well, what's the maximum going to be, Nick? And I told him it 72,000 at that time. And he said that Nick, because your dad was a railroad engineer. He drove a train. And he says, Nick, I made that, and he had been retired at that time, 4 or 5 or 6 years, I can't remember.
Retired in 82.
Okay, this was in 04, is that right?
Yeah.
And he always had a nice Cadillac at one time too. Anyway, and he says, Nick, he says, that's no problem. He said, when I retired, I was making $72,000 a year, which is like 20 years ago. And so that was the 5th vote. That's how that worked out. Nice super guy.
He was, he really was.
And
Well, I have a quick-
your mother was super funny.
So let me ask, so Amy, do I remember this right, that your dad, when he was in his 80s when he got his motorcycle license?
He was.
And the person said to
Didn't
him,
want to get behind him, but,
but didn't the tester say, you're the oldest person I've ever given a license to?
the trooper who did his test got a picture with him. I think he was 82.
Yeah, I remember that.
Motorcycle license. Yeah. But we used to always worry about him breaking a hip or something like that. He just scoot around Level Green.
I think he
Okay.
graduated Charter
All
High School
right.
in 41 or 40 or somewhere about there.
All right, we're gonna move on.
Okay.
I don't know.
We like Al stories, come on.
I do like the L stories.
I didn't know about that.
Okay, next we have Kathy Noggle. Kathy was a custodian for us at Harrison Park. She applied for a custodian position in 2004 while her kids attended PT schools. During her 17 years with the district, she worked at Trafford Elementary, McCullough, and Harrison Park. She really cherished her time at Harrison Park and made many friendships there. One thing, I was just at Harrison Park the other day, and one thing that somebody said about her, well, you have a great custodian whenever she cleans the windows so well that there was 2 people that literally ran right into the windows. Boom! And one of them was standing right there. At the
I was
door.
one of. She did such a nice job. She's a cleaning machine, and I tell her this all the time. When you was leaving the building, it didn't look like there was a door there, and I just went right over there, and my
You should. It
glasses
looked like the
broke.
gong show.
It was
Boom.
awful.
I couldn't stop laughing.
It was just unbelievable. But she honestly took such great pride in her building, and that building was clean and that was spotless, and she knew all the kids, and she just knew what was to be done. So the amount of energy she had, and she still has, and it was just unbelievable. So we are going to truly miss her for that building.
Miss Lance was another one that went through the door, so you're not alone.
I knew it was Mrs. Lance. I was kind of nice, unlike you, Scott, to not share it with everybody.
Okay. Next, we have Joan Spehar. I don't think she's here, is she?
She backed out the last minute.
Okay. Joan was another para PCA for us. She retired after 21 years of service as a para in PCA for PT. She holds the distinction of being the district's very first paraprofessional. She worked at Harrison Park, Sunrise, Trafford, Trafford Middle, Penn Trafford High School, and McCullough Schools. She found it a pleasure to work with special needs children and make a difference in their lives. So I got to work with her a number of years at the high school. Joan's a great person to work with, and we appreciate her service. Next, we have John Susich. John spent 2 years, he's not here with us tonight, right?
No.
Yeah, John spent 2 years as a custodian at Penn Middle School. He enjoyed his time PT and kindness shown by all staff, but he leaves to enjoy 2 of his favorite pastimes, spending time with his grandson and golfing. So thank you to John for his service. He was only with us for 2 years.
He subbed longer than he worked for us.
Yeah.
That was kind of funny.
It's
That doesn't
unusual.
usually happen.
And last but not least, we have Sandy. Sandy Smythe. She became a para PCA for PT in 2009 after her own children were grown. Over the years, she worked at Sunrise, McCullough, and Level Green. Sandy will always be remembered as she smiles, always remember the smiles on her students' faces as they accomplished a task or achieved a goal. She comments that in her life skills classroom, every day is a new adventure, and they always try to find something positive in every success or failure. You know, and if you're working with a life skills child, that's something. I mean, what you deal with in that room, those kids they have so many needs, but it's so fulfilling, as you indicated, whenever you see something and it click in and you make a difference in their lives. But those kids, it can really touch you over the years. I know you made some great relationships and had some positive impacts on those kids, so thank you.
I was very thankful that you was in that room. That touch base on what Scott just said, definitely.
Beautiful.
Thank you very much. Good luck to all of you. We appreciate your service. You know, it's a two-way street. You know, I know you're thankful for everything, but we're more grateful for the years of service and all that you've done for the district, so thank you.
And you are allowed to, please. And you're allowed to stay for the rest of the meeting, or if you want to go now, that's okay. I tell that to the students of the month every month, but no one ever stays, so you won't be. But since you're retired, you might not have any place to go right now.
You might want to
Yeah?
see what you've been missing all these years.
Yeah, you want to go, there's a cake, and then also Janet and Claire will make sure you get your clocks. I just had fun.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for the clocks.
Oh, that had to be classic.
Remember, PT by? Yeah.
I wish I would have seen it.
Good seeing you.
Thank you, see you guys. Oh, my goodness.
Thank you, everyone, thank you for your support. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
She just got married last weekend.
Cassie.
Yeah, last weekend.
Or she had one as old as my kids.
It's been wonderful.
So happy for you.
Thank you. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Scott, and we're going to turn it back over to Mr. Matarazzo.
Her husband dropped dead.
I do want to introduce two people.
Yes,
One is
please.
Mr. Klein. Brian Klein, he will be joining us because with the recent elections coming, so he's just kind of staking us out for a little bit.
Oh, Dr. Harris, we missed a photo.
We missed a photo?
Big photo, though.
Okay. We missed a photo.
Too late.
We get it off the screen this evenings.
We'll get it.
All right, so thank you for being here tonight. Thank you. Okay. And we also have an alumni who's working for the Tribune now, Ms. Quincy Reese. And what year did you graduate? 2019. I'm glad you're here. All right. It's always nice to see the press because sometimes we don't always get someone from the paper. So I'm glad you're here. And good luck on your intern. Right, now I officially turn it back over.
I think I turn it back to you.
Absolutely
Let us know
do.
what we're going to be doing next
Oh,
week.
okay. Under athletics and extracurricular, there will be no items. Under budget and finance, the adopt 2021-22 school district budget. We're going to grant permission to advertise for bids. We're going to authorize payments for all end-of-the-year invoices. Name banks as depositories for the 2021-2022 school year. Authorize payments for credits earned. Assign fund balance. Award bid for multi-purpose paper. Under buildings, grounds, and safety, approve renovation projects at the Penn Trafford High School. We won't have any items under the next category. For food service, we're going to ask you to approve the breakfast and lunch prices, approve milk prices. Under personnel and curriculum, we're going to ask you to approve the personnel agenda, approve the textbooks, approve tentative assignments, employ school physician and dentist, accept and file tentative official ratings, extend supplemental contracts, authorize the administration to fill vacancies, approve flexible instructional day program. For policy, public relations, legislative Title II, we're going to ask you to continue the roll call procedures, continue the bond coverage, approve attendance at conventions, authorize the administration to submit to federal program applications, approve participation in Drug-Free Schools and Communities Act, adopt Attachment A of the IDEA-B program narrative, appoint a PSBA voting delegate, and tentatively approve the board policy. Under taxes, insurance, census, we're going to ask you to set the millage rate, adopt homestead and farmstead exclusion resolution, adopt tax resolutions. And I turn it back over to you, and I don't think we had anyone sign in for recognition of visitors.
Boy, we got a heck of a meeting next week. Look
We
at all
do.
that stuff.
If there's anything that you need extra information on or have questions and need to discuss, feel free to ask me any questions.
Any board members have anything to bring up tonight? It hasn't been brought up? Okay, do I have a motion for an adjournment?
Motion.
A motion to adjourn, second, question? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Good night.